What's your name again? Freaking Liam. There we go.
Who else is coming?
Oh, hello. Welcome back to Castles and Company. Right, sons? So, it's been a while since we've been on the show. As y'all have probably realized, it's been, I think, 3 weeks since our last episode. So we took a little holiday break for everyone. Hope your holidays were good. Happy New Year. As always, this is a Disney podcast where we talk about all things Disney. And today we're especially focusing on Marvel. So, as everyone realized, Spider-Man came out. We were gonna do like an early Spider-Man review, but then we had the problem where a lot of us hadn't seen the movie yet. A lot of us just like couldn't like line up our schedules. So we're doing it here. Hopefully now that everyone has seen the movie, it's been out for I think 3 weeks at this point. So we're gonna go over some Disney news, and then we're gonna go and talk a little bit about the new Spider-Man movie that dropped. So, as always, my name is Jared Hendrickson. Joining me today, we have William the Hampshire, Liam,
Hello, it's me.
and we also have everybody's favorite Nathan Boosie.
What's up, guys?
Also joining us, maybe our friend. Y'all haven't met him yet, but his name's Muhammad. He might show up, and our other friend Lena, who has been on the show before, also said she might pull up. She said that if she can't make it, her contribution. Also, if you hear my microwave in the background, I apologize. I just remember that was going. It's too late to cut it out at this point. But yeah, if you haven't, as I was saying, Lena said if she can't make it, her contribution is the second. Oh, by the way, Spider-Man spoilers. If you haven't realized at this point, please turn off the podcast now if you haven't seen Spider-Man. But she said my contribution is the second time I watched it, I noticed the feast truck had Dicto written in graffiti. I have no clue what that. I have no clue what that means. Nathan, do you know what that means?
No, I just think it's funny because like Dicto.
Like dicto is in like
It's
toes
wait,
in
wait.
TOE or TOW, like
Wait,
a dick, like a toe that looks like a dick, or like
No, wait. I
being, like,
pronounced it wrong.
towed by
I
your
pronounced it
dick.
wrong. It's Ditko. Ditko. What does that mean?
Well, that's
Ditko?
not funny.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
that doesn't say dick at all.
If she hears this later, she's gonna roast the hell out of me. Oh God.
I think it's a. Oh yeah. Stephen Ditko was a comic artist. I think.
Yeah, oh, that's what it is. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah, my bad. Also, I apologize if my voice sounds raspy or if I cough at any point. We may have COVID. We may not. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, apparently he worked with Stan Lee to create Spider-Man. So
Oh, that makes sense.
that's
The OG
yeah. That
creator.
I have heard. Yeah, I do know who Stephen Ditko is now.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
now I'm like embarrassed, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the embarrassed
Live
one for
on
saying
air.
Dicto live on air.
Who's this
I used to be
Ditko
really
guy?
into, like,
Why is he in
comic
my
books, too.
Spider-Man movie?
I'm gonna neck myself. So, totally. I was
Gwen
saying.
Stacy yourself.
No, I was saying COVID. COVID test came back negative, but also if you're listening to this in the future, we're at that point in time where like everyone and their mom now has COVID. So like, I'm no longer original for having had it. Everybody got that now. So be safe out there. Wash your
Aaron had
hands.
COVID before it was cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I revolutionized it. I made the Omicron variant. I am patient zero.
Yeah.
Is it patient zero or
Sorry.
is it patient one?
0.
Who designed that? An engineer? Like, you know what? We're gonna make it be like an array. You both are engineers in here, so I thought you'd get.
Yeah. I get it.
Sorry, Liam. You're a computer scientist. You don't.
Why would I? Why would I? How would I not get? I would. What?
No, I get it because you're a scientist as opposed to engineer.
Got it. But that doesn't make an array is a computer
Peter
science.
Parker, I barely know.
Okay. Okay. I forgot why. I forgot why. Why did I even try to engage?
So, anyways, real quick, we're gonna do some. See Tobias, Lena, and Nathan, or Lena and Muhammad some time. Also, Liam, does the stream sound good? We all talking here? Everyone's able to
Oh,
hear it?
I'm definitely remembering to check that.
Oh boy. Anyways, moving on. Some real quick Disney news. These are things that searched real quick because I don't know, at this point we can't cover through news in one episode. So we'll just talk about what's happening. First things up.
Stream sounds good.
Alright, cool. First thing up is Disneyland Hong Kong closing its doors again. So Disneyland Hong Kong is closing its doors beginning January 7th I almost said of January of 2022. So if you really want to go to Hong Kong Disneyland, you got to go in the next 2 days because after that it's closed. I don't know if anyone has any strong opinions on that. Do y'all believe that with COVID cases going up that we should be closing Disneyland, our Disneyland? Any opinions?
I'd say maybe it'll just for like I think for at least doing like a 2-week closing like the Hong Kong one does. I mean, just for how like easily it spreads, I'd say that it probably, I don't know. I would say it probably wouldn't hurt.
What do you think, Nathan?
Like I would say like obviously yes, but like we're gonna need to close a lot more than just Disneyland, and nothing else is closing. So like at this point, like if nothing else is gonna behave responsibly, then at least keep Disneyland.
If we're gonna suffer, we might as well have Disneyland with us.
There's a lot wrong that needs to fix. Like if we're gonna leave stuff open, then why not keep the fun stuff?
True. And we had fun.
Like we're too far gone, man. We passed the point of no return long ago. The country's in shambles.
Yeah, we're getting hella deep here.
Yeah, the economy's gonna crash.
Nathan said there's no hope. Run, pray.
I'm giving up, man.
The only thing you can do is hide.
At this point, I'm just like, think about the children. Don't take away Spider-Man.
Think about the children. Take them to Disneyland, where they will 100% get COVID.
Now that's thinking with your head, Liam. So I don't know.
I mean, think about it. The place is run by like mice.
Just like the plague of 1920.
Yep, the Black Death, 1920.
Wait, was it really? Are you trolling me?
No, 1920 was like in between
Was
the
that
world
like the
wars.
Spanish flu
Black-
or something?
I think there's polio back then, but the Black Death was like in the 1300s.
Stop embarrassing yourself online, Gary.
That's why I'm here. No. Either way, I think they might as well leave it open. I don't know, like it's a kind of like a personal choice at that point. Like, do you want to go or not? Either way, kind of already like Nathan was saying, we kind of already screwed ourselves over. Was it like most ER rooms at hospitals are pretty filled up, and like that's not even the people that that are gonna like get or like, how do you say it, like have like problems from COVID from New Year's, because like those people like probably haven't even like popped up at the ERs yet, so we're already in for like a good couple weeks of not any fun. So Either way, if you're going to Disneyland, might as well go. Just be more safe. Make sure to take, what is it, like hand wipes with you. Wear your mask. Make sure you're vaccinated. Make sure you're boosted. If you do get COVID, hopefully it's not terrible. Not life threatening.
Everyone get your boosters.
Hell yeah. Everyone get
Get
vaccinated.
boosted.
All right. Next thing for news. Book of Boba Fett dropped this past week. So, that is the new Star Wars TV show featuring favorite bounty hunter, Boba Fett. If he's not your favorite bounty hunter, then the non-fan favorite Boba Fett.
I'm a Bosk guy myself. I'm a fan of Bosk.
Nathan, name one other Star Wars bounty hunter besides Boba Fett. Go.
I got this. Jango Fett.
Oh my god, he actually got me.
Hell yeah. I was like, there's one other Fett.
Oh my gosh, okay, I'm actually really shocked that you knew that. But impressive. But fun fact, played by the same guy. The guy who played Jango Fett is also playing Boba Fett TV show, which he also reprised his role for in Mandalorian. So, Liam, have you seen the new Boba Fett episode?
No, I have not.
How could you, a Star Wars fan, not seeing the new Boba Fett episode?
Look, if it was Book of Bosk, it might be different, but
I'm joking, of course, because I also haven't seen the new episode. I'll get around to it. Nathan, if you've seen the new episode, I'd be shocked.
Wait, if I had said The Mandalorian, would that have been a correct answer?
Yeah, that would.
Okay. I felt like that was like low-hanging fruit, though.
I mean, would you take that answer? I feel like that counts, Liam.
yeah, I'd say that count. I mean, I'd say it's yeah. I'd say they're both bounty hunters. I mean, I'd say it's a more yeah. Yes, that would count.
You know how people would say like for like the child / Grogu, they'd be like Baby Yoda. So like an incorrect answer would be like Baby Boba Fett. You know, like that. That would be the wrong answer.
yeah.
But the Mandalorian, the child. I don't know. Either way, I'm not super hyped about this TV show. Liam, did you even know it was coming out?
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it a couple times on this podcast, or like talking about the podcast or something, because I knew it was coming and I knew it's like supposed to like serve as kind of a Mandalorian season 3. That's really all I know about it.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't like looked into it too much. We had the trailers that we talked about a bit ago. I think we did, unless it was more recently that the trailers dropped. But overall, okay show. Not super excited about it. I'm sure it'll pick up just like the Marvel shows. Like it'll probably get like really exciting near the end. But maybe they'll have like some cool cameos or something in it that makes me want to watch it. All right. Next thing for some Disney news, I found this one. There was a power outage at Walt Disney World yesterday. So apparently it shut down. There's a power outage that shut down the monorail, the ferry boats, and some of the resort hotels. So it says there's one visitor who explained that she was eating dinner at the Wilderness Lodge and staying at the Polynesian Resort. She tells us both places lost power in the evening. So I don't know. I've never thought about that. Like I thought this story was interesting. That like every single day, 365, when like Disneyland or like Disney World are open, like they're getting like tons of power. Like how do they not have more power outages than they do? You know? I don't know. Any comment from either of you?
I mean, they probably because they use so much power, they probably like try to have super robust systems that doesn't happen. So I'm sure whenever that happens, it's very expensive to fix. So I imagine they probably like do everything in their power to make sure it doesn't happen. So
If they didn't have those, imagine how cool it would be to be in a completely blacked out Disneyland at night.
At first, I thought you were saying be completely blacked out at Disneyland.
We don't gotta imagine that.
that would be quite something. That would be if you were just wasted at Disneyland couldn't stumbling, finding your way around, and then suddenly across the entire park, all the lights go out.
You're like, wait, am I dying?
Yeah.
I'm
Is this
sure
the end?
it would make like a cool noise too, because it's so like big. You would hear like some like a. I don't know.
Here's an explosion. That can't be good.
Or is that just in movies where you hear like a, like that noise? You know what I'm talking about?
What?
The noise of like electricity turning off. That's like often portrayed in media.
Like the
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like all the power outages I've experienced, like the lights just like turn off, and you're like, oh, the power's out.
Yeah, because it's like your house. It's not drawing like immense amounts of wattage.
But like my point is like Disney is probably powered by like a power plant, right? Like Disney doesn't own a power plant. Like, do they have like their own backup generators or something?
Disney has a nuclear reactor
Wait,
under
do
the
they?
lake.
No. You're like, I was worried about COVID when I took my kids, but one of them grew a third arm while we were at the park.
So what do you think? What do you think is inside the castle?
It's actually powered by people riding bikes, bro.
It's actually a ton of mouses on like gerbil wheels or whatever, on hamster wheels.
Like really caffeinated mice.
Why do you think they have all those Starbucks on location? I don't know. That was just a fun thought, like experiment to do. Like, I'll probably look it up later, but like, Walt Disney World is like its own city, you know? Like Disneyland's one thing. Like that's probably like the city of Anaheim giving it power. But like, also imagine the electricity bill for owning Disneyland. You know, that's got to be terrible. Imagine the utilities on that baby.
At least 5.
Yes,
I agree.
I would say at least 6. I'm telling you. But fun to think about. If anyone's interested in looking more up on that, let us know. They're probably like have enslaved children under it, like shoveling coal or something. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Marvel news, or one more. Oh, do we have more Disneyland news? I guess this is one that like Liam and I were discussing a little beforehand. We also still blame Nathan for this, that the lightning lanes have increased from, there's an increase of 150% on some of these like new fast pass lanes. So this is like Web Slingers and Radiator Springs racers rose from $7 to $18. I don't know, bro. You're not getting me paying $20 to like ride one ride. I don't care. Like, that's some like gourmet, like rich people stuff. I can't afford $20 to go on a ride.
Wait, can you? Is it literally $20 for like one ride?
It says on here prices for web slingers, and so I'm reading off of mercurynews.com. It says individual lightning lane prices for web slingers and Radiator Springs racers rise from $7 to $18 per ride. I don't know what that means, like one for the web slingers ride and one for the Radiator Springs ride, or if it means like each time you ride the ride. But like,
And is lightning lane just like means you can go faster through the line, or?
yeah, it's like a fast pass line for the day.
Okay.
Like you pay extra for at the beginning of the day.
Got it.
So
then how does it, if it's for one ride, how is it different than a fast pass then?
Literally, I have no clue. I haven't been to Disneyland.
Okay.
I was actually planning on going because like I want to like learn about how like the system works, but now it's like with COVID like spiking again, might not be the best time. But I don't know. It just seems like ridiculous amounts of money to be like skipping the lines for. Like at that point, I'd rather just go in the line than like your options are like here. You can. It's like Clash of Clans. You can speed this up for 7 gems. You can speed it up for 7 gems if you want. Like
Literally,
it's actually Clash.
So they took that. And next thing you know, they're gonna have loot boxes at Disneyland.
Bro.
Probably already do.
You're not allowed to buy tickets. You just have to like get randomized ticket drops. It's like $10 a pop.
at this point, nothing would surprise me anymore.
Get the Overwatch business model going.
Yeah.
Spin the wheel for $20, and all you get is like,
Yeah.
you want a churro?
I spun the Disney Channel wheel, and all I got was this T-shirt.
Yeah, but you have to actually go if you to spin for a ticket to get inside Disneyland, you have to go to the machine that's just outside of Disneyland. So if you don't make it, you have to watch everyone who does make it get like walk in and then just be like, oh well, at least I got my churro.
Like, congrats, you won the invited to the Disneyland Purge. Take
Dude,
your
I'm not gonna
place.
lie. If there's anyone that would like partake in this system, it's Disney fans.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I'm sure at one point I will be like, you know what? I want to have a really good time at Disneyland today. I'm gonna pay like $30 to
Try
skip
not
the
to.
hour long lines. You know.
You are part of the problem.
What's your point?
I'm just it's a fact that I just think needs to be stated. You are part of the problem.
I mean, yeah, like I've always been, but like they just keep adding to the problem, and we keep like what's the word? Enabling them. Disney's like, there's no way they'll go for this, and then they do it, and they're like, they went for it.
They show a bunch of dudes laughing in like an office, like there's no way. They're just seeing how far they can push it, man.
They're like, what did we charge for entry, and then charged for the specific rides themselves? And Bill, who's like sitting in the cubicle, like just gets upgraded to like the penthouse suite, like for like the innovative idea. I don't know. It seems like a lot of money for not a lot of payoff, but at the same time, going to Disneyland, you're expected to pay like hella money. I don't know.
It's crazy how big of I feel like that's a huge part of the business model is just like people are already like expecting to pay absurd amounts of money when they go that they're just okay with like I was gonna say that when you mentioned the like $20 fast pass, I was like Disneyland is already like a fortune. Like why not?
Seriously, it's become unless like you live close to the park and you have like a season pass. Either way, you're paying like tons of money to fly there. You're paying tons of money for hotels. You're paying tons of money for the ticket. You're paying tons of money for the food. You're paying for photo pass. You're paying for what else? They have photo pass. They used to have something else. Maybe I'm thinking of like the Magic Band stuff. But you're already like going in. You're like, I'm already spending like $400 today. What's $420? What's $430? You know?
You get your daily commemorative pin.
No, literally, whenever I go, I get a pin. So that's like that. Even like on me with my what do you call it? Pass. My $400
Magic?
like so yeah the magic key. I can never remember what they're called. Like my magic key. It's tons of money for that. All right, we're gonna speed through these last ones real quick. Quick Marvel news: Hawkeye finally finished. That was like a bit ago, but we'll just talk about it. Nathan, Liam, I don't think either of you saw Hawkeye, right? That's a no from both of you. All right, so Hawkeye was pretty good. I saw all 6 episodes of it. It was like, it was very like moi. Like it was kind of just like there as a show. Like yeah, it was good, but like it's like the Black Widow movie, but TV form. Does that make sense?
When does it take place?
It takes place after Black Widow, after Avengers Endgame. Yeah, I think right around then.
Okay.
And that takes place like in the winter time. So it was like really nice. Like I was watching it on Christmas Eve with my dad, and they're like talking about like Christmas stuff. So it's like on theme, you know? So it's nice, but like you probably wouldn't watch it any other time of the year, you know?
Mm.
And then they added Kate Bishop, who's like one of the archers from the comics. She was okay. She played by Haley Seinfeld? Steinfeld or Seinfeld? I never remember. Haley Bieber. No, Haley Steinfeld. Either way, do either of you like her as a person, singer, actress?
Don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
That's wild.
I like the name Haley though, so
I recognize the
that.
name. Let me look up.
So either way, she was alright. Honestly, her character kind of annoyed me at some points, but like I get that was like her character. So she did like her job well.
Okay, I don't think I've seen her in anything, but I recognize her.
all around, like it's not one of those shows you have to see, you know? Like,
Right.
Forgettable.
yeah, it's a forgettable one. Maybe they'll like add to it in the future, as Marvel always does, but at the moment, it's not like a must see. I would say.
Would you like to see it be added to, or do you think like they should let the IP die?
Like,
Like, would
maybe.
you rather the resources be put into something like a different IP?
Oh, they definitely do not need a Hawkeye season 2. Like that's like they like Loki. Everyone loved Loki, and they're like immediately like greenlit like Loki 2. You know what I mean? Like WandaVision, like you couldn't really do a part 2 because WandaVision is like uh, a very specific type of show. But like it would like change like the entire. Y'all know what I mean? Like WandaVision was like, oh, she's in like a TV world. Does it make sense?
Right.
And
Yeah.
then, like she got out of the TV world, so it's like,
It's kind of a limited story that they were telling.
yeah. And then like of course Multiverse of Madness is coming out pretty soon. I think in when does that come out? Is it May?
Uh,
Multiverse of Madness.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. May 6th. Yeah.
Yeah, May 6th. So like they're
Oh,
already gonna huh?
it's being directed by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, same guy who did the original Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I didn't know
There's gonna be
that.
a jazz scene.
There better be.
There's not a comb over, man. Oh god.
Oh man, I mean, it's gonna have like, I mean, the trailer's out and stuff, right? So it's not a spoiler for
Oh
to
yeah.
say that
I was
the
gonna
evil
say,
Doctor Strange is gonna be in it.
yeah, so
From
glad you brought that up, Liam, because that's something I forgot to mention. So mini summary here. At the end of Spider-Man, there's like a trailer, right? And the trailer's for the Multiverse of Madness. Real quick, both of you saw the trailer at the end of the movie, right?
yeah.
You saw it too, Nathan, right? Wait, did you say something? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. So we have opinions on it. Like Liam, you were pointing out like the evil Doctor Strange. Was that like your highlight of it?
Oh, I was just gonna say, if the evil Doctor Strange and it's the Sam Raimi movie, we could totally get a jazz scene with evil Doctor Strange.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
uh, yeah, I thought it was cool. I kind of wanted there to be I kind of wished there was, another scene at the end of the movie rather than just kind of a trailer.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
yeah,
I get
but
I get their reasoning though.
yeah. I mean, it looks cool. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do.
What about you, Nathan? You gonna go see Multiverse?
Uh, I will say, like, seeing No Way, I've never seen any like Doctor Strange stuff before, and seeing No Way Home like was my first exposure to it. And I will say, it's very like, I feel like I'm not normally drawn to eye candy very much, but it's very eye candy-ish. Like the visuals are very
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like all like the what is it, like the crack, like this is for like the new movie, No Way Home, but like the purple cracking in the sky. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like it's gonna be like a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so like I don't know if I would like go out to like of my way to see it, but like if I was there, I would sit back and enjoy.
I don't know. I heard some rumors that they might like include like Spider-Man variants in that movie too. So I don't know. That would be like cool if they did that.
I'll go if there's Spider Pig.
You can go with their Spider Pig. All right, I'll go watch it and I'll tell you ahead of time.
Yeah.
All right. So Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, go ahead.
I still want live action Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man, noir Spider-Man. I still want live action Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man. I'm holding out hope that one day we're gonna get that.
Josh, what's the quote he says in the multiverse one, or Spider-Verse, where he's like, "The rain, it smells like rain" or something.
Oh,
Oh, what's the quote?
crap.
No, your Spider-Man rain quote. Oh, wherever I go, the wind follows, and the wind smells like rain. It's just like the stupidest quote. Oh, but it's great. All right, well, we'll start up with our mini review now. So, thank y'all for tuning in for Disneyland news. So, of course, if you haven't already seen Spider-Man, we are going to go into spoilers here. So, real quick, we'll go scene by scene. I'll pull it up on another screen that y'all can't see, and we'll go through it. But to start us off, like overall thoughts on the movie. How do y'all feel about it? Nathan, you want to go first because you called me like right after you saw it because you're like you knew I was one of the few people that saw it. Like, what was like you were really excited about it. So like, let's hear what you thought.
So I think uh I think I did have more criticism of it than other people I talked to. So I think up until the scene where again, spoiler last call, but up until when Aunt May dies and we get like the full spider cast gets introduced, right? I think up until that I was like hesitant. I was like, where is this going? Like it's kind of like meandering, I guess. Like it didn't seem to have like a clear direction. I was like, this is kind of just like all over the place. And then after like we have Garfield, Tom, and Toby all together, their perform like that was some of the best, like most like engaging film I've seen. And like
That's
you like,
facts.
of course that's given, right? Because we have three like huge budget actors like on screen at the same time. Like there's no surprise that that was like fun to watch, but like, oh my god, the performances were so good. Like that one, like just the scene where they're on top of like the what is it? It's the Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah.
On the top, like just that sequence of them in the tower was like so entertaining. Like that, I would take that scene as like over like the rest of the trilogy.
Like which part specific? Like just all of it, or just
the
like
dialogues between them and like the way they interact is just so fun to watch, and like it makes you like almost like how I said that the first kind of half of the movie felt like there wasn't like a clear direction. It made that forgivable because it was so good. It was like,
no, you're completely right. Like the very like early on in the movie, like because I saw it a second time, right? Wait, Liam, how many? You guys both saw it once, right?
yeah.
I
Well,
saw
I
it
did.
twice.
Okay, so maybe you felt the same way, Liam. Like through my second watch through, I'm kind of just like, yeah, I'm like waiting till it gets to the Andrew part, like waiting till it gets to
Yeah.
Andrew jumping out of the portal. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of like thinking about it, like, okay, so it starts off, he goes to Doctor Strange, he complains to Doctor Strange. Well, first it starts off, they're like, oh, like, the courts are gonna like take you to court. 3 seconds later, nah, you're good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like Matt Murdock, he's just like, nah, you're chilling. Um, straight to okay, so he's trying to like get into college, and then now he's trying to reset everyone, and then like yeah, and then you're like kind of thinking like, wait, where are we? Like, are we just going on like his mini quest?
Yeah, it's sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
no,
off.
no, no. I didn't really. I lost my train. I wasn't sure where I was going with that.
I was just gonna agree
Just
with
like
you
the
that
movie. No, I'm
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's because I kind of agree with what you guys were saying, that it's like up until kind of that point where like Aunt May dies and everything, that whole like fight scene. I feel like there wasn't a like it was a strangely long like amount of time in the movie where uh it didn't we the audience like it didn't feel like you weren't sure exactly we were rooting for Spider-Man to do.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know what the movie was about, really.
Yeah, it's like
it,
it's like okay, he's in his apartment like making these cures for like the supervillains, but I mean we know that's not gonna happen, or we know that they're not all gonna get sent home, and then the credits are gonna like roll.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
And
like
so
we're chasing objectives for the whole movie that are like clearly not like of substance, I guess. Like,
yeah.
I felt yeah they could hit that button at any moment. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Also honestly I think my biggest thing with the movie is just kind of the overall. I'd say honestly my two biggest critiques of this movie are the the weird thing with the spell changing that they don't really explain, which kind of just to make it a more impactful ending, I guess. But
Yeah,
I
I
feel
thought
like
that.
they could have really easily given some super super like short explanation for why it had to go from like forgetting Peter Parker is Spider-Man to forgetting Peter Parker exists, but they don't really
I
do
was gonna
that.
say, couldn't he just do the spell and then like when they all wake up, they're all like staring at him, like on the broken Statue of Liberty, like yeah, they're not gonna remember who
Yeah,
he is, but he could be like, he could probably like look up at Doctor Strange and be like, Doctor Strange, hey, like 3 seconds ago you just had to cast a spell, and like turns to like May and Ned and be like, sorry, like I'm your friend, like they had to erase everyone's memory, and they could have like gone from there, but instead he kind of just like runs off, you know. I thought that was like kind of funny.
yeah, and just the like logistics of how all that works, like with like everything. Because I mean, they're
Yeah, I get what you're like getting at.
there
It's like
there were
they,
like there were there are recordings of Peter Parker like existing and doing things. Like, is Ned not gonna have some like video that he took of him and Peter from on even
Liam, it's
just on
magic.
like
Liam, it's magic.
yeah, I know, but it's like at least I would have at least like an explanation on why, just a brief 2 sentence like, oh, it's the nature of the spell is too the multiverse is too strong, and we gotta give it a level 9
Give
spell
it a
instead of a
left,
level 6.
give it a left hook instead of a
Yeah, we
right
gotta
hook.
give it a mega spell instead of a normal itty bitty spell in order to beat the multiverse.
it's like they bit off like a ton. And then like again, I'm not saying like I wanted there to be like an extra hour in the movie of just like explaining all the loose ends that like a spell like that would create. But like, yeah, it felt like a little bit too like convenient. Like they just kind of ignored like a lot of it and just like went. Like,
Yeah, it's especially after stuff like the snap where it's like, oh, this here's a thing that just affects all of everything, and that's just how things are now. It's like, oh man, I like especially if we're going into more of the multiverse stuff. I don't know how many times you want to keep doing this, because eventually it's gonna start getting ridiculous, I think.
I mean, and, like, of course, like Marvel movies are already designed to like suspend your disbelief. And I just want to like say real quick, I love this movie. Like all these plots, like plot points, yeah, they're kind of like suspend your disbelief, but I still enjoyed the way they did it. You know, like
Oh yeah, I
like I
the
enjoyed that they made everyone forget he was Spider Man. I thought that was really cool.
yeah, I thought that was I thought that was an interesting way to end the movie. I think that it could have been done a little more, like, I think they could have spent a little more time on the, like, you know the the logistics, or the not necessarily the logistics, but the like,
I could have added a sentence or two being like, "Oh, like adding
yeah,
this part of the spell will make this happen."
yeah, not like yelling mid battle as they're kind of all flying around, but like kind of a or they did like stand and like talk about it and stuff, but I don't know. I guess for a movie to end to move for a Spider-Man movie to end with everyone forgetting who Spider-Man is, I felt like that should have been a bigger, you know.
No, no, no. They everyone still knows Spider Man because was it J. Jonah Jameson is still,
Right. Sorry, I meant Peter Parker.
yeah, he's still like, I thought that was interesting. He's still trashing Spider Man, but like he doesn't know that it's Peter Parker, which I feel like is really cool because it opens up um the next Spider Man movie for him to apply to work as a photographer at what do you call it, the Daily Bugle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like Toby's a photographer there, and like he doesn't know he's Spider Man. So like it'd be really
Yeah.
cool for him to be there and then be like, he doesn't like, this is a good cover, like because he needs a job now too, you know? Like he's jobless. He has like an apartment, and he's
Yeah.
got nothing again.
Yeah. I could totally see that.
Peter Parker battle unemployment.
Uh, aren't we all? This Christmas, Peter Parker faces the Great Depression. I don't know, Nathan. Any? Okay, I was gonna say, like, we did like a lot of complaints. Like, what are like the things we really enjoyed? It's like, Nathan, you really like
Real quick, I just wanted to add to what Liam said. Like, it felt like they gave a lot of context for things that I would have been willing to suspend my disbelief about and not really care. Like they spent a lot of time hashing out like how the villains were all getting there, and it's like there was like 7 of them. It's like it's okay, just like throwing like we spent a lot of time getting context about all of that happening, and then when they do like stuff that we actually I feel like care about more, like changing Peter's whole identity, it's just like boop, you know.
Yeah.
You know what's
Yeah,
fun?
because it's kind of sorry,
Okay.
sorry. I was it's because with the villains coming in, it's like, oh yeah, it's coming from like we opened it for a little bit and then like closed real quick, and it's like this is how it might happen. It's like, okay, you got a villain from like each of the movies. We know like it's one from each movie. It's like you don't need a super. Actually, I didn't mind the way that they explained it, but you
No,
don't.
I really enjoyed it because they were building it as they added more people. Like, you know how like the lizard was like, oh shoot, no, what order was it? Electro was like the lizard. I thought like you were dead, or like the Sandman. He was like both Doc Ock and William Dafoe are dead. You know, and
Oh yeah,
it was like
yeah.
it was like really funny like that.
Yeah, all the parts where the characters from all the different movies, like the villains and the Spider-Mans, especially the Spider-Mans, all the scenes where they were all interacting with each other were awesome.
All right. Real quick, I'm gonna do everyone choose one last thing to complain about, and then we're all gonna do one thing we really like. So, one thing I wanted to complain about was the fact that Spider-Man beat Doctor Strange in like due to geometry or something. That was the one where I was like, in no world should Spider-Man have. Okay, that part where Spider-Man's out of his body and his body is like dodging Doctor Strange. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Remember that part?
Yeah, I kind of assumed that Spider-Man that what they were doing with that is setting up that Spider-Man has like something, a little bit magic with him because I know I could him something with him being like specifically having some, I don't know, connection to multiverse stuff or Doctor Strange magic-y blah blah blah.
I don't know. What do you think, Nathan?
That was also an artifact of his spider sense, right? I don't remember the scene super well.
It's
But
like
it was
he's like out of body, like they're fighting for the cube.
He
And,
like
like,
astral projected.
Yeah, he astral projects him out of his body, and then like
oh no, okay, yeah, now I remember. Yeah, so that's interesting that you guys like took it that. So the way I interpreted it was even though he's not in his body anymore, his spider like reflexes are still working. That's why he's able like
okay,
it's his spider sense. Like taking like his reflexes don't turn off even if he's not like in control of his body.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, with the
That was
box,
that was
yeah,
the way I interpreted it.
okay, that's actually
Yeah,
I didn't think of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Liam.
Sorry, yeah, with the box, I agree with you. I meant with like the him swimming back to his body and all that stuff, and being able to beat
Oh, yeah,
Doctor
yeah.
Strange and
Mhm.
like the
That's true,
mirror
yeah.
dimension and all that stuff.
I don't know. I guess it works for the plot, but I was just kind of like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Like what makes his body so special? Or like always like, yo, it's like how he was almost in full control. Like I think who had to put him back? Like the Hulk. Do y'all remember Endgame when the Hulk is like astral projected out of his body by the Ancient One? I'm pretty sure she had to. I'm pretty sure she had to put him back. You know, like back in his body.
Yeah.
And I don't think Bruce Banner was like. I don't think he was like willingly put back in. Like he had to like. She had to put him back in. So that also like adds to like my skepticism that like he's just able to swim back to his own body. But I think that was the complaint I had. I don't know any other complaints before we go on to like something good about it.
I was gonna say the other big thing for me was the kind of the seemingly kind of the theme of the movie, where it's like I appreciate I I like the message of, hey, we shouldn't be, all these villains are people with like problems that they've like succumbed to
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
We should try and help them and not kill them. but in the process of doing so, like so much else gets destroyed and so many other people I think are like killed. And plus these are all also like
You have
villains.
you have a mental illness. Let's punch you until you're fixed. Like,
yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that part of we don't of not wanting to do that and kind of
because
like
didn't the lizard bring that up where he was like, things don't always go great when you try and fix people or something. You know how he says that quote? Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I think so.
They're like discussing how like Peter's like, I'm gonna fix you all, like so you have a better chance or whatever. Blizzard says something to the degree of like fix it, trying to like fix people doesn't always go like yeah, he was doing it in a good way, like trying to fix people, but like the lizard was doing it in like a bad way of like, I'm trying to turn everyone into lizards, you know? But like still like trying to like Peter should have known that like, hey, maybe they don't want to be quote quote fixed, you know?
Well, it's also the fact that from what they said, it's like they get teleported out of their timeline right at the moment, like before they die.
So they have an incentive to live.
Well, yeah. Well, if you send them back and you kill like all like 5 of them or 6 of them, like that's obvious. You know, we want to if we can avoid that, that's great. But at the same time, they're all like extremely destructive supervillains that each in their own universes have like killed a bunch of people. Yeah. And so like kind of I don't know, setting them free and stuff in the you know.
But see, Liam, this is why you're not Spider-Man, because you think like this.
I guess not. I guess I wouldn't give my super tech Tony Stark mega glasses to like Jake Gyllenhaal because he's like seems like a swell guy.
Yeah, I guess that's like the point. Like we're supposed to like we all have like the viewpoint of Doctor Strange, you know, where he's like it's their destiny. They're gonna die anyway. There's millions of universes.
I was just
maybe
gonna
we
say
should.
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we should let them kill all these civilians in our world too.
It's like it's just fine. I find it a bit like I know it's a Spider-Man movie, but like I find it a bit corny that like Peter is just like willing to like it's one thing if this whole morality dynamic happens on like a small scale in his own universe and he's like, oh, like what, I don't want to kill this villain, like we can like fix him, right? But like he's clearly he's messing with like cosmic, like the multiverse, and he's just willing to like tamper with things. Like it's very, I find it very corny, and like he's also like smart. Like he's not like, I know he's a very like bound by morality character, but like he's smart, and he's just like willing to like willy-nilly mess with like the fate of like the multi, you know?
Yeah, it's like he's able to name all of these like, oh yeah, this theory of relativity and like multiverse and like here's this complex theory. But then it's like, it'd be really mean to like kill these guys.
Yeah, he's like, I can fix it. Like
imagine applying that same thing to Mysterio. Being like, oh, I'm gonna fix Mysterio and send him right back to where he was. You know, that doesn't really like fix the problem. Like Mysterio's still gonna like go back and like be evil. You know, like I get like he just happened to get the 5 villains, like except for the lizard, like all 5 of them kind of would have been good. Okay, maybe not Electro, but like he's like, okay, now that I have no powers, fine, I'll be good. You know, it's just kind of like he got like lucky in the sense that like the people he did get were quote quote fixable. You know, I'm trying to think of like a bad guy that like that.
Like you just end up agreeing with Strange, like, yeah, like don't do this. Like this is beyond your like comprehension.
I don't know. Any other movie complaints before we move on to quick scene by scene?
So my final complaint is I had a distinct moment at about like the pacing.
Okay.
It was when like all the villains are like locked up in the little circular room and they're all chatting with each other. That like pulled me out of it because I was sitting there like it was kind of going like slow, and I think this moment was like the pinnacle of like this is like I'm getting too much context. Like I don't know where this is going. Like do something. It was like they were all just in glass chambers talking to each other, and it just felt like okay, like come on, like it was too much. Like it was like I'm just watching like 6 CGI people like chat with. It felt like a weird like episode of like the Power Rangers or something. It was like I like it
Well,
was just everyone was so static that it became painfully aware how everyone is just like a CGI and like I'm just staring at the lizard like what is this? Like,
That's
yeah.
actually a
Well,
really good point.
to
That's a
be
really
fair,
good
I was
like
gonna
normally
say,
they're like moving and flying across the screen and stuff, so it's easier to like get immersed in it. This is like okay, I'm just watching all these like animated figures like chat like.
yeah, I get that. To be fair, though, I think, I think the big draw for this movie is seeing all the people from different movies interact. But
That's a
I
good
do get
point.
what you're saying. That there are ways of doing that that doesn't have them literally each in a
Zoomed in.
pod,
Yeah,
like talking to
just
each
in
other.
boxes like chatting. Like,
Yeah,
Like one of my favorite parts is when they're on the bridge and Doc Ock sees the Green Goblin and he's what does he say? He's like Harry or is he like Norman Osborn? And then like Peter gets teleported to Doctor Strange's like prison, you know?
yeah,
Like it was cool to see that interaction of like him like seeing it like on a battlefield, you know, of like him seeing the Green Goblin and like the interaction that way.
yeah.
Um,
And even in the apartment with the villains like interacting with each other in the apartment was cool.
I like the apartment a lot better than the like the chamber area.
yeah,
The
I agree with
holding
that.
area.
But like that's a good point you brought up, Liam. Like the appeal is like not only the Spider-Man all talking to each other, but the villains too. I'm sad
Yeah.
they didn't like emphasize like a Sinister Six type of deal. I thought they were really
Yeah,
going with that.
that's true. That would be cool.
Like
Yeah.
there are 5 villains, 6 if you count Venom, 6 if you count Mysterio. Uh, in a way.
Also, I don't know how you do this without kind of having to like make the plot entirely revolve around like the two or three characters, but like I was kind of sad we didn't get to see either of the well, I'd rather see the James Franco one than the other guy one, but like either of the Harry Osborns from either of the other franchises.
I mean,
Yes.
obviously for good reasons they weren't in it, but like that would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
I had that same thought, Liam. Like I was like left wanting. I was like, oh, like why isn't like Venom in this? And I was like, well, if Venom's in this, like they have to dedicate a lot more of the movie to like just Venom.
You know what's interesting is the Lizard I was reading this, had 7 minutes of screen time. They hardly touched, like okay, they did some Sandman, but like they literally left Lizard in a box downstairs for like
Yeah.
that whole like part of that movie or part of the scene. Remember where he's just like in the truck.
Yeah.
They're just like, nah, we're gonna leave him here. Like it's
To be yeah.
like of course like the ones they focused on were Doc Ock, William Dafoe as the Green Goblin, and then what like Electro? Were those like the 3 that like had the most?
Yeah, I'd say so. To be fair, the lizard man, the lizard, not like the most interesting character, especially for that like amount of CGI. I also noticed they kept him in like almost exclusively in low light settings. So I think that they didn't bring him in the apartment because I think having to animate the lizard in a fully lit, apartment kitchen was like more than it was worth, I think.
That's a good point. It would kind of take away the point of him like lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, and it also might not look super
It looks silly.
Yeah.
Even in the way, if you stare too hard at him, it's like what? Like
what is he gonna do? Sit on the couch and just chill there? Like
yeah. And you never see him as a person either. Like in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, it was like you see him like turn into it. So it's kind of like I don't know. You get more like grittiness from it because you've seen him as a person. But in this one, it's just like he just spawns in as like an animorph. Like
yeah, like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
yeah.
all right, so we're gonna do a quick go by scenes. I'm just gonna scroll in the background. I have like the movie pulled up on some bootleg thing. Don't attack me, Disney. I'm not streaming it, but I'm just going through and just like getting a view for the scenes. So first one we get we get Mysterio saying like, "Oh, Peter Parker's Spider-Man," so Peter Parker swings around, takes MJ back to like the apartment or whatever. We have Happy and May breaking up, and then Peter's in the room with MJ as like he's like getting changed or whatever, and they walk in. I thought that was a really good scene. Like I noticed when my second time watching through, it's like all one continuous camera, recording, like going from like
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
because
yeah.
like as
Yeah.
Peter's like going around closing the windows, like it follows him and like
Yeah. The
it's as if
cinematography is really good in that part.
yeah,
Now that you mention it.
it's like as if it was like a person going through. So I really thought that was cool. I loved like the comedy behind like her breaking up with Happy as well as like Peter being like looking like he's like about to have sex with MJ in the bedroom or whatever. I thought that was pretty good to handle.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any comments on that part? Did y'all like that part as well, or?
Good stuff. Strong start. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like how they had Flash figure out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker though, because he's like walking on his phone or whatever. Like some people wanted to say like they wanted Flash to get a tattoo of like Spider-Man, and then like as he gets the tattoo, like he like hears the news. It's like wait, what? You know?
Yeah. I would have appreciated, like, they didn't have to explore it or anything, but especially like kind of assuming what they're gonna do with Flash Thompson's character.
I feel
like,
like they could have
I-
handled
I-
him better completely.
Well,
in the movie.
Yeah, I
Very
would have.
annoying. Like,
Yeah, I would have appreciated, like, they don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it, but just having him, like, anytime they cut back to him, he's, he's kind of having to mull over in his head that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and it like actually gives him like it actually shakes him up a bit, as opposed to just immediately going to, oh yeah, well, me and Peter, we're best buds. I'm selling my book. It's like,
I mean, that kind of
comic relief
I
thing.
disagree there. I think that is kind of still his personality. Like the moment that like he has the chance to become famous, he's gonna take it.
Yeah, but assuming they're gonna do what I think they're gonna do with this character, I think that having, at least hinting at there being a bit of a, like, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I get
I
it.
don't know if
Like
it's a
he,
spoiler.
like me saying he's annoying is like obviously he's meant to be annoying to some extent, but like he has no depth. Like it's just one side. Like, and if they're
Yeah,
gonna develop that further in the next one, it's like he's coming in with like zero like get this guy off the screen. Like,
Okay.
and I think
Oh wait,
in
Liam,
the
Liam, I'll
in
cut
the,
you
in
off.
the next
Liam,
couple
Liam,
movies,
I'm
he's
gonna cut you
gonna-
off for
yeah,
a
yeah.
second. So speaking of coming in, we have a new guest with us. So Mohammed, would you like to
Wow.
introduce yourself real quick?
what's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mohammed, and I am a decently big Marvel fan.
Oh yeah, Mohammed. So
Yeah,
welcome to.
Not the biggest, but I like the
So-
movies and I read a little bit of the comics.
So I don't know. Say real quick. Say some things about yourself as well. Like I don't know. Like we all know most of us here are like UCR students or former. UCR
I graduated UCR class of 2021 during the spring pandemic year. So yeah, that's pretty much it about me. I'm a high school teacher right now.
Hell yeah. So we got the
Yeah.
cool high school teacher Mohammed. Is Peter Parker in your class?
I hope so. I'd be like his teacher. I'd Photoshop pictures of myself and put a mural.
No, that's when you say, "Who's Peter Parker?"
Oh man, I forgot.
It's
Who's
like
Peter
the
Parker?
entire world. So yeah, sorry Liam, I cut you off real quick, but finish that thought you had, and then like we'll see what like Mo's opinion.
Oh,
Do you remember?
Oh yeah. It was about Flash Thompson. Do you guys know what I'm talking? I think Flash Thompson is going to become a more. I have a theory that I think Flash Thompson's character is going to become more important in the future, like at least in the future Spider-Man movies.
Mhm.
What is he
Uh,
in the comics? What does he do? What is like?
Do you want me to say it? I don't know if you want me to like.
I mean, we're allowed to talk comics here. Like,
Okay. Well, Flash. Okay. Do you guys? Do you Nathan?
Yeah, I'm
Mohammed?
fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I
Okay.
all right, if you really don't want to hear anything about the comics, skip ahead a bit. I don't know. Oh, but
Alright,
go
well,
ahead.
Flash-
Yeah, go ahead.
Eventually, like after Eddie Brock, Flash Thompson becomes Venom.
Oh wow.
Whoa! Spoilers.
In which comic? Which comic is this one? Which Spider-Man?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember which comic. I just know canonically, like he's the next person, in like he joins the military and stuff, and like all
See,
sorts of stuff.
But see, at the same
They
time,
like
okay, at the same time though, like MJ, like our current MJ we're on with Zendaya, isn't like your typical redhead MJ, you know? So like,
yeah.
I feel like that's like
But
the same thing with like Flash and even Ned. Okay, but like they might probably turn Ned. They're probably gonna turn Ned into the Hobgoblin. Let's be honest.
Are they gonna turn him into a Hobgoblin?
Yes, bro. They literally had the lines like, "I won't kill you."
No, because I thought that was because a lot of people already theorized before the movie came out that Ned would be a villain.
I mean, it seems like something funny that they would like pay off in the future. Maybe
It would be, but that'd also be sad. Like well, that happened to Tobey Maguire's Spearman. He had to fight his best friend.
Yeah, well, also, like, how seriously would we be able to take Ned as a hobgoblin? He might straight up ruin the entire movie.
Bro,
They're probably gonna take it.
he'll be killing him with his one-liners.
Hey yo, yeah, actually, it's gonna kill him with the Lego Death Star.
He's gonna have a fucking Boba Fett and everything, bro. He's gonna make clone troopers.
Who are the clone troopers led by, Nathan?
Great question.
Django Fett. There you
The
go.
hobgoblin.
No, you missed him. We were like, Nathan, say one other bounty hunter besides Boba Fett, and he was like, Django Fett, and I was really surprised.
Well, they cloned Django Fett.
Yeah.
He took Boba Fett as his son.
Yeah, they go into that with what the Mandalorian. Mo, you haven't seen the Mandalorian, have you?
No, I haven't. I've always meant to watch it, but then like eventually it just never happened.
All right, Mo, we're gonna get you, or Muhammad, we're gonna get you on that. But
I bet.
Yeah, I don't know with like Ned and the Hobgoblin. I think that's like a challenge they could take on. Like if they really needed like. Okay, so here's my thought process. Like the next Spider-Man movie, he's probably gonna face like a smaller threat because like they just did like the multiversal threat. Now that he's back to being like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, I feel like they'd like use that opportunity to like do like a smaller story. Does that make sense? Because like soon enough they'll make him big enough again and like well known again that like he's fighting aliens again. You know what I mean?
Do you think he's gonna team up with like anybody that's like a former Avenger eventually down the line? Like if he sees like Doctor Strange and then be like, he's like, oh, Spider-Man. He's like,
almost
like,
certainly at some point.
yeah, like, oh, Spider-Man, like we saved half the galaxy. It's funny, I never seen you behind your mask.
I think they're gonna make a lot of like funny quips like that in the future.
Like you look familiar.
Dude, okay, I haven't seen Loki, so I don't actually know what happens. But assuming he is a character.
No, Liam, I got you. Yes, Spider-Man does kiss Loki in the Loki TV show.
Okay, I don't have any more questions then. No. I was just thinking it'd be super interesting if Spider-Man or if Peter Parker like shows up and runs into Loki like at some point in the universe, and Loki doesn't know, like everyone's forgotten who Peter Parker is. So Loki doesn't know that he's an Avenger, but Peter Parker knows full well that that's like Loki.
Wait, but did Peter Parker and Loki never met, did they?
That's a good point. You might have seen him on the news.
Oh, true. Yeah, well, he probably saw
because
him on the news,
after the first Avengers movie, no one saw Loki besides Thor. Then and then in the beginning of Infinity War, what's it called? It was
because
Thor,
he gets
Hulk.
murked. He gets murked in like the first 3 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, it was just a Loki clone." Like how he's the god of illusions and trickery and whatnot, like the mischievous. But it's like, nah, that man's dead.
They actually do a callback to that in the TV show, but that's getting into that, and I know some people here haven't seen it, plus some people watching haven't. So anyway, so
I guess my point
Yeah.
was just that I hope that they do something like, because almost certainly they're going at some point they're going to reintroduce, like, Peter Parker's going to have to reintroduce himself to some of the previous characters from the other Marvel movies, but I hope they do. I want them to do kind of just interesting. I want the first person that Peter like comes across and has to explain his situation to be like someone super like unlikely or innocuous. Like if it was Doctor Strange, it'd be like, oh yeah, it'd be like, oh yeah, you cast a spell on me, and then he'd be like, oh okay, let's pick up where we left off. But if he has to like try and explain his situation to like uh like Loki, or like, he's met Wanda, right?
Peter, technically during the fight, but I don't think they've like. Oh wait, no, during the Civil War, but they probably met, right?
Oh, I just imagine like
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man seeing what's her name again? The Captain Marvel. I'm Spider-Man. Instead of like,
It's like you're a man, I hate you.
hi Peter Parker. Can I? What did she say? Like, hi Peter Parker. Can I have that? Or like for like the glove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nathan, do you remember that part from Endgame? All right, Nathan's dead. Poor Nathan. He's gone to the gods.
Rip.
Anyways, that was just me testing to see if Nathan was here. Turns out he's dead. But
All right.
Nathan,
R.I.P. to my man Nathan.
he's on like a work call tonight, so he might have gotten a call, so he might be muted for a sec. But
Wait, who's Nathan? I don't know a Nathan.
what are you talking about? He's Spider-Man. I'm kidding. The real Spider-Man was Muhammad.
Friends we made along the way.
Oh yeah, dude. There's gotta be at least one Black Spider-Man out there in the multiverse.
I loved that quote. That was an amazing, like,
Oh, dude.
it's such a pointing like quote.
Yeah, man. I hope they have Miles Morales. Because I mean they have a
Yeah, they have his uncle.
yeah, they have his uncle. They have a Childish Gambino like
Mhm.
as playing as his uncle, and he like actually says, "Oh yeah, I've got a nephew in this area."
Yeah,
So-
and when he answers the phone call, he says, "Sorry, Miles, I'm gonna be late to your party" or something like that.
I thought that was a deleted scene.
Ah.
Was that a delete scene?
I think so.
Oh, okay, because I saw it. I saw it on like an Easter egg thing.
Yeah, I think it was like a deleted. I think I was talking to Lena about it, and it was like a deleted scene or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, because
I
I
could
saw
be
it as
wrong.
an Easter egg years later, and I was like, oh, after I'd already seen Spider-Verse.
Yeah, like that's why you didn't like remember. Like you would have noticed it in the theater. You would have been like, "Whoa, Miles," you know. But like, no
Yeah,
one's
but that
talking
also came
about
out
it, you know?
before. That also came out way before this Into the Spideyverse with Miles Morales, is because Miles Morales' popularity skyrocketed after that movie.
Yeah, who was I having the conversation with? Was it you, Muhammad? Where like I was like, I thought Miles Morales was like a super old like Spider-Man, but like turns out he was like his character was made in like 2010 or like
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't me.
someone was saying that like his first introduction was like 2010 or something. I'd have to when y'all can keep. I'm gonna look it up.
1 second.
It
So what
says
did I miss so far in
2011.
the conversation?
Yeah, so we're just going through the scenes. So we kind of a good like segue into that is we just talked about how with the scenes how like Peter like goes into like the apartment and like May and Happy are having like their little like talk about how they're not like dating anymore.
Oh yeah,
And,
and
like-
where they think he's hooking up with Zendaya
Yeah,
in the room.
in the room because of his shirt being off, which is funny
And-
because all three movies like someone walks in on him with his shirt off, so it's really funny. Like I like how
Yeah.
they made that happen.
I like how the Easter egg for that scene was he was wearing I survived my trip to NYC shirt.
Yeah, I saw like, but like the shirt was like much smaller this time.
It's because Tom Holland got buffer.
He got buffer. Was that like their intention?
No, I don't
'Cause
think
the
so.
shirt looks
But
way smaller.
no, maybe it could be like he's bro, because that was like 2 years ago in universe.
That's a good point. He could have.
Well, not
technically-
not exactly 2 years ago because of the blip, but like.
Yeah, but like like he's trying to show he's like growing as a kid.
Mhm.
Nathan messaged me. He said he'll be right back. Rest in peace. So, the next thing
Who's
we're
Nathan?
no true. Next thing we were talking about. He's never been on the show. Next thing we're gonna discuss real quick is like the Matt Murdock scene. So
Oh yeah, I didn't expect that at all.
like both of you recognized him when he came on the screen, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that
I
was
was like,
like
that's Daredevil.
yeah, that was. I thought it was like underutilized. Like he said like what, like 2 sentences.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was just a cameo. I think it's a segue for them to say that hey, these universes are all the same because people are thinking the Netflix MCU and the movie MCU are kind of different.
I've seen there's like no like we don't know for sure yet. Just kind of like
I mean, but that would be an
they
easy
like
explanation.
yeah.
That could be like an easy segue for them to be like, yep, like an easy way for them to be like, yep, these universes are connected
That's why I
and they're the
like
same
that's
universe.
why I like the introduction of the multiverse because it's not saying that like everything that happened in Tobey Maguire's universe like is part of the MCU, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's like it's like a very easy way for them to like connect it, and they could also be like into the Spideyverse is like connected to as like another multiversal thing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say like it's
Except they're cartoons.
yeah like
Yeah.
my point is like it's trying
You
to
have some Who Framed Roger Rabbit stuff.
Yeah.
like technically every movie or anything ever could like be part of the multiverse or whatever because that's how the multiverse works. But
It's just an easy way for Disney to clean up all the licenses for the past 20 years.
yeah, it's an easy way for
Now that,
it's
yeah,
an
now
easy.
that they have all the rights and
My
stuff
point,
like that.
yeah, my point is that they get to pick and choose what they want. That's like
Yeah.
my point. Like people like Toby, we can keep Toby. People like Garfield, we can keep Garfield. People didn't like the Green Goblin from Andrew Garfield, we won't include it then. You know?
Yeah, he wasn't included in this movie, thank God.
So like that's like they can like choose like pick and choose. What else?
Man, it would have been crazy to like try to navigate the whole with the Tobey Maguire uh, Green Goblin of like Harry being alive and Norman being alive and Toby being there and they're all in a different universe and having to figure that situation out.
Yeah, it would have
Whereas
been
like
it would have been
whereas
crazy if like what's it called? If they brought James Franco's new Goblin into the movie.
But like, see, that's what I was thinking. Like, let's say they fix the Green Goblin, right? And they send the Green Goblin back. Now, is the Toby they sent back going to the universe where the Green Goblin's fixed, or is he
No,
going
he's
back
going back.
to his original one?
I
or
think
is
he's
he
going
going to
back
the
to his
one where
original one.
or is he going to the one where Doc Ock is fixed? Because if Green Goblin is fixed and doesn't die, does that change
Does
things so
Doc
that
Ock even happen?
yeah, does Doc Ock even happen?
So it's just kind of like I think like by the way that they've explained it with Endgame, Toby would go back to a universe where the Green Goblin's dead, but he like knows he has like the knowledge that like there is a timeline where the Green Goblin was like saved, you know?
Yeah.
So they probably like
Yeah.
created a whole new like multiversal branch.
Yeah,
by
I think
doing
with
all this,
yeah,
it's weird.
it's yeah, it's I've kind of just for as much as I love to pick it apart, I do. There is a part of me that just kind of like after Endgame kind of tried to do their explanation for how it all works. I still don't. I'm just kind of like they're gonna do what they need to do to make cool scenes happen, and I'm just gonna have to accept that.
They explain it a little better in Loki, and also don't explain it better in Loki. It's kind of weird.
That's
But you're right. It's literally Marvel saying, "We want to make cool scenes. You guys want cool scenes. Here's how we're gonna do it," and we just have to accept that.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we put all this like theorizing in, and it's just like, well, it was like we're doing all this nitpicking right now. But I know this is like I would say this is probably my new favorite MCU movie.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's probably my favorite. Like it was very fan servicey at points. Like I'm sure we'll get to that later. Like as the movie goes on, like as we go scene by scene, stuff like that. But like they had stuff like, I'm like I'm somewhat of a brilliant scientist or something like
I
Norman
I
Osborn.
actually didn't like that quote in there.
No, yeah,
it took me
it's
out
just
of it.
Yeah, because it's fan service.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
they
it's
could have done it
funny.
well, but it was like yeah, like everyone cheered and I cheered when it happened, but like I felt like they put it in very awkwardly.
That's funny because when I went and saw it, everybody was laughing.
No,
And
like
I started dying because it was so out of place. I was like, what the
that's
hell?
what I'm saying. It was so
You
like
could see
it
it
was
coming.
fan service, but it was so out of place.
You could see it coming from like a mile away.
He's almost kind of like looking at the camera. He's like, "Hey, make this a meme again."
Literally makes the awkward like face from the.
You could almost see the impact font on the screen.
But the thing is, if that wasn't a meme, would they have included it in the movie?
No, you know what's interesting? Like we'll get to it later, but like when Tobey Maguire looks at Doc Ock and he says like trying to do like Doc Ock says, "How have you been?" He
Yeah,
says,
trying to do better.
It's a quote
It's a,
from the
it's a
original.
it's a quote from the original movie.
Yeah.
He said, "Dr. Connor says you're brilliant but lazy," and stuff, something like that. He's like, "How you doing, Peter?" He's like, "Trying to do better."
Yeah, so it's I didn't catch that, so I thought I liked that one because it was natural, and I didn't like you'd have to know to know.
No, yeah, it
seeing,
was
like,
natural.
Seeing like the much of a scientist myself, it was very jarring because it's like a huge ass meme.
I will say this is. I feel like this is the one time on here where I will have liked something that you guys have critiqued and not like agree with the critic. Like,
No,
I thought it was funny.
I absolutely I thought it was funny, but I just like Jared said, it took him out of it. I was just like, oh, I can't believe they just did that.
Okay, I think it was funny for me because Mo, you missed me talking about this, but it came when they were in the chambers, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we were talking about how like in the scene with the chambers took me out of the movie because I was like, what am I watching? Like, it's just it's like 6 CGI people just chatting with each other in glass
Oh,
tubes. Like, what is
yeah.
this pacing? Like, it felt like I was watching like a Power Rangers episode. So I was already out of it. Like, what is this movie? And then they said that, and I started dying. Like,
Did you know-
no,
Yeah.
literally, at that point, I was like, I'm willing to forgive like the absolute cringe fest that is going on with like 6 like lizard CGI people just like chit chatting because they're
But
now leading into it.
did you know Sandman's actor never was on set? His
I
character
was
his character is completely CGI'd.
I was actually gonna bring that up that the scenes with the lizard and the Sandman guy, they were both neither on set. It
It was confirmed.
Yeah, it was reused footage.
It was confirmed that the lizard wasn't on set either, because I know there were rumors about that, but I know it's confirmed Sandman wasn't on set.
Also, Liam, were you gonna say something before you? I think you got cut off. I don't know.
Sorry.
No, you're good. If you're gonna say something about like the Power Rangers scene.
Oh no, I didn't have anything important to say.
All right. But yeah, so I thought that was like an interesting fact. Did anyone catch that when they first saw the movie that like it was the same exact like footage from the original Spider-Man like movies?
I mean, I know the only thing I thought was similar was Dr. Connors, the way he looked like when he turned back human.
Uh-huh.
Like,
But like you didn't put 2 and 2 together though.
No, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but they showed him go back to human, right?
Yeah, I thought that like I remember sitting in the theater thinking like they used a really weird angle. Like why didn't they use a better angle? And then that's because it like
It's like the exact same angle from the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Which is a different type of like cinematography completely.
Yeah. Which
Did you guys watch the previous movies beforehand, or did we all just watch?
I watched the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, and then like half paid attention.
I watched a recap YouTube video.
Okay. What about you, Liam?
No, I didn't rewatch.
Any of them?
I didn't rewatch. I didn't rewatch any of them. I had a pretty good. No, I haven't. I didn't rewatch any of them.
Okay, so we all just kind of we went into this raw. We went
I
into
feel
this
like
raw.
that definitely affects the way that you saw it.
I think that was
Yeah,
good though because like we weren't like over analyzing everything. We were just kind of taking it in.
No, yeah. Like I lied to myself the whole time, convincing myself that Toby and Andrew weren't in there, and I was half believing it, you know?
Literally, I wasn't 100% sure they were in it until Andrew took off his mask after jumping out of the portal. Like the moment he took off the mask, I was like, okay, it's actually happening. So I'm actually kind of glad Andrew like was like, no, I'm not in the movie.
No, but I think it was kind of obvious when he waved. You know,
But yeah, the people
like when
next
he's
to
like
me,
waving through the.
my friends next to me were all getting like hype, like, oh, is that him? I was like, guys, it's obvious. That's like, you can tell like as soon as the silhouette appears that it's Andrew.
No, but like
Yeah,
I wasn't sure that like because like once you saw his like okay, literally I knew the moment they opened the portal and you saw the Peter in the distance, I knew that wasn't Tom Holland. Like I knew for like the instant like that portal opened, and I was like doing the same thing. I was like tapping my friend on the side like yo, it's him. But at the same time, like I wasn't sure if they're gonna like have the actor back. You know, like when like he takes off the mask, you like they didn't just like dub a voice over a masked Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like they had like the actual actor there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
really
mean, I
liked Andrew Garfield's introduction. Andrew Garfield is such a good actor. Oh my gosh. Can we get into positives now? Because like some of the performances in that movie were so good.
yes. Oh my God! Like Andrew Garfield single-handedly redeemed himself as a Spider-Man.
Dude, Andrew Garfield and Willem Dafoe, amazing performances. Top tier.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to it before it gets chaotic fanboy talk here.
I was
I
gonna
think
say
Toby did pretty. I'd say Toby did really good too.
honestly
Yeah.
the scenes we all agree like the scenes before like Andrew pops out of the portal not too like interesting. I would say the only thing before we talk about like
No,
the Andrew
wait. I
coming
mean,
out. Yeah, go ahead.
but I mean, like there were good scenes before Andrew came, like
No, like
the Doctor Strange Spider-Man fight.
I think we
Uh,
talked about that a bit. We were just saying that like I thought it was dumb that he beat Doctor Strange. I thought
You
like
think it was dumb?
yeah, like
It seemed more
like
like
the Sorcerer Supreme or like the former Sorcerer Supreme gets beat by like a guy who can like shoot webs. I don't know.
I mean, the way they did it was more so in line with the act, like canonically, like with the actual Peter Parker with his wits and like quick thinking and stuff like that. You know?
Uh-huh. No, I like it was still done. Like I'm saying, it was done to the best ability possible, but I still think it's silly. That
Okay, I understand that,
like I feel like he could
but
have.
they need it because
Yeah, of course for the like
they
to
need it
advance
for a
the
plot
Yeah,
to advance the plot. Otherwise, the movie would just ended there.
I know. I'm being nitpicky, but
No, yeah,
but the scene I wanted to talk about real quick was before we like talk about Andrew going through the portal is the fight scene between Tom Holland and the Green Goblin that like results in May like getting killed. You know,
that scene was really good when he was fighting the Green Goblin and Lizard and Electro all at the same time.
because it was mostly, but it was like mostly hit. Like, okay, do y'all know the part I'm talking about where like Tom Holland like shoots two webs and then like pulls down on them?
Yeah,
like,
pulls him down
landing-
through the balcony,
Through the balcony. Like,
Yeah,
and he starts like beating the crap out of him, and then like
But
he's
then-
just
but
smiling
then-
back.
yeah, but then what's it called? The Green Goblin freaking pile drives him through like four.
The
God.
four floors.
Willem Dafoe just lifts him and just like pile drives him through like 4 or 5 floors.
Liam, remember the last time I pile drived you through 5 floors? Good times, right?
Yeah, my back still hurts a little bit from that.
Oh, I think Andrew can help you with that.
You want me to crack it? It's like my back, it's just a little stiff.
I don't know, Liam, what do you think of the fight?
Oh, I really liked it. I thought, I thought the like Willem, like the cut to Willem Dafoe, like doing the Goblin, like you're saying, the smiling, and just
Yeah.
it did a really good job. I feel like better than the original Sam Raimi did of like kind of showing the Green Goblin's kind of superhuman strength and like abilities and stuff like that, other than just being able to fly around and throw bombs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like
Oh,
it was,
right.
I felt like it gave a much better sense of they're both like it's two superhumans fighting.
They were
against each
scary.
other.
Dude,
Yeah.
like the fight choreography with Norman was so good. Like the way, especially like the end scene, right? They literally added like 1,000 pounds to everyone's punches. It was so satisfying to watch. Like,
Yeah.
That's
or like the apartment
that was my
fight with
favorite.
Norman.
The apartment fight was insane. Like
Like he was
earlier.
actually scary. Like you were scared for Peter because
Yeah.
like up until this point, like Tom hasn't fought anyone that's like doing that.
No,
And then
he hasn't.
Norman is just eating stuff and
Bro,
absolutely
he
eating
hasn't.
the
Yeah,
crap.
he hasn't fought one on one with someone who's a psychotic superhuman maniac.
Yeah.
He's only fought in like teams, and other than that, he fought against a normal dude with vulture, like with like vulture power, not power, like robot stuff. And then he fought Mysterio, who's just an illusionist.
He fought a
Feel
purple
tense the
alien.
whole time.
I mean, he didn't fight the purple alien one on one though.
I know. I was just making a joke. He
Yeah.
always says that like, "Oh, I fought
Oh
an
yeah,
alien."
yeah. This purple guy wiped out half the universe.
The last scene was like an anime battle, man. It was like, I was like, is this Dragon Ball?
Bro, and it's funny how what's it called? The one person who took everything away from Peter is also the one who like he took his Aunt May. He also took Peter Parker from the universe because he threw the pumpkin bomb into the spell. That's what made.
There are actual consequences to the things that Willem Dafoe brought to it.
Yeah, he's the one who threw the pumpkin bomb into Doctor Strange's like spell box that was containing the spell. That's what made everything.
I love that scene. Can I just say that when they look in it and like the three Spider-Man's faces as they like see the bomb in it, like I thought that was awesome. Like that was so like unique. I don't know.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't know if you guys already talked about this like in the apartment, but one of the best scenes I see in the movie that's like I think no one really talks about is the scene where like everything goes really slow in the apartment when they're fixing everybody.
Like Peter's trying to, like his Spidey sense goes off.
Yeah, when his Spidey
sense. I was actually gonna bring that up, but like we kind of just like started talking about the fighting. I don't know, like, Nathan. What do you think of that part? When like the Spidey sense kicks in and he's just like walking around.
I might watch it actually.
With that scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, you forgot like that happened.
It's been a bit, yeah.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean by it's underrated.
If you find it, I think it's at like 110, and yeah, it's at 110, 30 seconds. But yeah, that scene was like I thought very impactful because it like showed the power of his Spidey sense, his Peter tingle.
Yeah, and Willem Dafoe just slowly turning and just being like, "Well done," or I forget what he said.
He said something. I think something like that super sense of yours is really something.
Yeah,
or like always annoying or something like that. Something along those lines. Like he was complimenting it, but like in a backhanded kind of way.
Yeah, you're talking about when Goblin like switch it, like his personality flips. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then like I noticed this in like a breakdown video that when his Spidey senses first kick in, the first person we see in the background is Norman Osborn.
But he walks away from him. Like he
walks away.
He walks
and
into
everyone,
like, the lobby.
Yeah, and Jamie Foxx did a good did good too in that scene, like by setting up the tension as well. Like I don't like how this feeling. Like I don't like this.
Yo, I thought that was a good too. He's like kind of sweating. He's like, this feels weird, man. Like this, I don't like it. You know, I thought that was really good.
Yeah, like that he did good to like intensify the scene as well, like by like being like looking in distress and stuff like that. Then when Goblin gave his speech, like these aren't curses, like they're gifts.
It was convincing too.
Yeah, he convinced everybody to basically just like, all right, let's dip. Fuck this kid. Oh, sorry, excuse me.
Oh, you're good. Captain America, is that you? Coming in to censor the video.
He's like screw this kid. Like let's go out and do what we want.
Okay, I want to hear Nathan and Liam, what both of your opinion. I don't think I've heard your opinions on the Aunt May death scene. Nathan, you want to start? Like, did you think it was like impactful or not? For me, it personally wasn't too much.
Yeah, I would like. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was horrible or anything. Like, it didn't stand out to me. I was like, oh, what really like this? But like, it was like somewhat underwhelming, especially considering like how big of a character Aunt May is to people. Like,
what?
So I was just like, especially like considering how big of a character Aunt May is, like it wasn't that impactful.
The argument I've seen. Oh, actually, let Liam go.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, it especially because especially in the way that they did it, where it was kind of like you see her get like flattened by the speeder, and then you're like, oh my god, she's dead. And then she's dead, or at the actually what I thought when I first saw it was like, oh my god, she's probably gonna be like paralyzed or something because it hit her like right in the back. But then she gets up and I'm like, oh, she's not dead or paralyzed. But then she's like,
Wait, of course.
Wait,
Wait. Of course, she's not dead or paralyzed. It wasn't Andrew trying to save her.
That's
True.
messed up.
Sorry, continue.
Rip Gwen Stacy. The yeah, and then she like gets back up, and then it kind of just seems like she stumbles a bit, and then so she can lay back down again, so she can have a the classic kind of last words
I,
like death scene
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Did anyone
It
have a
felt
gripe
very-
with the
it felt
last
very
words?
manufactured.
I think what's it called? This is the only place where I disagree. I like the whole sequence where
I had a disagreement with my friends, the people I saw this with, about the like her like final words. Because she says, like they say explicitly, like with great power comes great responsibility, right? Was it that?
Yeah, it was like it was
She
I think right
changed it
before.
slightly. She
I
said
didn't
that-
like
I heard
that.
I heard that's the original line, like from the original comic, the first Spider-Man comic.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that they like blurted it out. That's what it felt like to me. Like
I mean,
it-
but it
Okay.
happens with every Spider-Man when they lose their loved one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with you, Nathan, until like when she said it, it didn't sound right until the other two Spider-Man also repeated it. Because then it was like, oh, it has significance, you know?
I prefer when like I feel like there's been times in Spider-Man movies where they subtly say it without saying it, and I prefer that more. And I will say, like, if there's a time for them to explicitly say it, it's this movie because it's like such a big one. But like, I don't know, it didn't feel like there was enough setup for them to just drop the line, you know?
I mean, but that's why they had Aunt May set up to die for her to say the line.
I think
Because
he's trying to say like they shouldn't have had her said it right before she died. Maybe like more naturally.
yeah, it
include
feels
it.
like it's like
but I-
blurted out. Like
They're like, oh no, she's
see,
dying!
look,
Quick,
no,
the
but
line,
look.
quick, she's
No,
dying,
but
quick.
Look, like throughout the whole movie, Peter kept saying, "This isn't my responsibility. This isn't my problem. This isn't my responsibility." You know, like when Aunt May was trying to convince him to save the people. You know?
Yeah, but it's kind of
like you
I
can
see what you're saying, but it's
you can see the setup. Like
but the way
the way it was executed was probably
well, especially the way kind of Marvel does that stuff. When it happens like that, because Marvel does that with pretty much everything that is recognizable in any sense from any of their properties, it kind of makes it feel I feel like it for me it makes it feel like kind of like okay, it kind of works in the story, but it's also a bit of like a I'm something of a scientist myself kind of wink wink to the audience moment. It's like okay, yes, we are watching Spider-Man.
the
Yeah,
feeling
no,
I
I-
had was
I see
that fish
that.
from SpongeBob where he's like, "Oh, brother."
Wait, what line?
The fish from SpongeBob that always screams like, "Oh, brother."
At first I thought you said like my leg guy.
But what's it called? Like I said earlier, like I like that whole sequence, like because it made it seem like everything was okay. Like I remember my friend came over to me like during the movies, like he was like, "Damn, she's not dead. Like what the heck? Like her life insurance policy must love her, you know?" Like
That was another thing that kind of irked me. I feel like this is a pretty like, I guess like nerdy like nitpick and like kind of annoying, but like
That's
it just bothers me that she's like laying in there dying and Peter is just like sulking over her when she's just bleeding. Like go fix it, bro. Like,
yeah, go get Doctor Strange to
like
no,
Like-
but he was calling for the ambulance, like any ambulance in DODC just shot him in the shoulder.
like it kind of seems like a play. Like,
Yeah.
like he knows she's supposed to die, and he's like, okay, I have to, like, this is how it happens. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that like for me, I kind of teared up in a sense, like because I like Aunt May, Marissa Tomei, like the actress. Like I don't know, maybe I like her because she's hot.
no, I was gonna say, man, who doesn't? Who
You know,
doesn't, bro?
so it's like
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
and
sad.
everybody else. Oh, brother!
It's gonna be sad not seeing her in the
Bro,
movies, you
the
know.
first time I saw Homecoming, I found out that I also have a Peter Tingle.
Bro, no, but like that whole thing, like it was a little bit weird that she got, but then like there's also like in real life, like there's people who suffer like fatal wounds and then like they get up and then like
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say
of all
I
the
like that. I
adrenaline.
love that like she stood up from it because of like the adrenaline, you know?
Yeah, because the adrenaline's pumping. It's like she wants to make sure Peter was okay.
Yeah,
Gives
like
the
And,
feeling
she
that,
has
like,
she has that mother
what-
instinct. She has like
yeah,
the mother instinct. You know, like when
like
if
when
a
I'm
baby
like
gets trapped under a car, like some moms will be able to like lift the car and get the baby out.
yeah, literally,
Yeah,
like
so it's like that's kind of what she was feeling. Like I got to make sure Peter's okay.
yeah, and then once like
Once
her
he's
and Peter
safe.
were like okay, that's when she like
Her
fell
body
over.
registered it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
but
like
then
that.
again, I can see what Liam was saying, like oh, like it was weird that she got up and then just lays back down just to die. You
Lady,
know?
Yeah, it kind of felt like it kind of felt like the kind of like the horror movie villain death, where it's like they, you know, they have a moment where they're like down, but then they like get back up again just for a second, just so
Yeah, and
that
then
they
they
can have
just
like
like
the proper cinematic, you know, the proper place to lay down for them to shoot the death scene.
yeah. Like what's it called? Like I feel like I've seen something like that in like Harry Potter 2 or something. Where they like you think they're alive and then they're just like frozen, like they die
Oh,
or something. I don't know if it was Harry Potter, if it was another movie series. I haven't watched the Harry Potter movies in a long time.
the real question is why didn't we see Uncle Ben's death? Is that
Yeah,
like
I think it's hinted there's no Uncle Beth in that universe.
Uncle
Ben.
Beth?
Uncle Ben in that universe.
No, no, it's like I think it's on his suitcase at one point. It's his like uncle. It's his like something.
Yeah, he has an uncle, right?
yeah. Well,
Remember from
I think
Homecoming?
Uncle Ben is supposed to have already died
Yeah.
because, like, by the time Homecoming, because I think the whole thing when they introduced Spider-Man into the MCU and like with Civil War and Homecoming, I think their idea was like, look, we've had, you know, in the past 20 years, we've already done
Killed
like
Uncle
two
Ben.
other
Yeah.
Spider. Yeah, we've already had two other Spider-Man origin stories. People are probably like know how this works. They don't want to see, you know, another half movie establishing all this. So they're gonna be like, "Hey, I'm Spider-Man. I got powers. I swing around, and I know what I'm doing now. Now throw me at an alien so I can fight them and do some crazy shit."
Yeah, like a lot of people don't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man because he lacked the origin story from what I heard. Like the Spider-Man origin
Dude, I thought
story.
you said the orange in his story. I'm
No,
like,
origin.
where was
story.
the orange?
No, like he lacked the origin story. So what's it called? They felt like he's just like this Stark sidekick, like Iron Man sidekick. Doesn't have to deal with anything really big on his own, just when he's helping Tony Stark and stuff like that. That's like what I saw a lot on like Reddit throughout the years for people who don't like the MCU Spider-Man.
I mean, it was like I think that's one of the people's like biggest what's the word, like
Gripes.
no, like what's the opposite of a gripe?
Uh,
There's like, what?
Uh,
The word that's opposite of gripe, like compliment.
like the biggest like
favorite things.
favorite thing.
Sure,
Let's just
favorite.
say
One of them, like people's favorite thing about this movie is that it ends with him being like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like he's just got like his own suit that he made. He's got no one knows he's Peter Parker. It's just him. He's in like the rundown apartment. Like people like that fact about him because it's like he's getting back to the roots, you know?
Yeah, and that was I think that's like the MCU's vision. when they first introduced this Spider-Man.
No,
they
I
wanted
think the
to
MCU's vision was with Wanda married to her or whatever. I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Bad joke.
Oh, Wanda's hot.
Like all the hot women in the Marvel movies. So we got Aunt May, Wanda,
Bro,
Thanos.
Aunt May from the first Spider-Man movie.
It took me a second. I was like, Homecoming?
Nah, for the Tobey Maguire series, bro. God.
I mean, maybe.
I see you're into older woman. Gosh, what was I gonna say?
I meant like Homecoming. Never mind.
Nah, go ahead if you want to say something.
No, I was making a pun. Never mind.
Oh,
I'm just gonna cut this whole section out.
All right, let's cut it out. Let's cut it out.
I'm leaving it in now. That's too much effort. I was gonna say something. Oh, yeah, I read one theory. The reason I read the theory was that he couldn't use his current Spider-Man suit, like the integrated suit, the one he had from the movie, because it's Stark tech. Therefore, it wouldn't recognize him because it doesn't know who Peter Parker is anymore.
Oh yeah.
So that was like
Yeah, Karen wouldn't know. Or
Yeah.
Friday.
yeah, Friday.
'cause-
Whoever is it, Friday in his suit?
Is it Friday? No, because I know it's Karen. He names it Karen.
The first one's Karen. Is this? No,
Yeah.
Friday is with Tony Stark. I thought after
Friday's
Jarvis.
Tony Stark's, but he got Friday through the Edith classes.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, but he can't use the Edith glasses. He can't use like the integrated suit because they're Spider-Man or Stark Tech, and he doesn't like Stark Tech wouldn't recognize him anymore, and that's why he has to make his own suit. So I don't know if that's like of course that's like not a valid like verified theory, but like it could be.
Yeah, I feel bad for Tony Stark, man. He's in the grave. He went to the grave. He took care of this kid, made sure to set him up to be the next big hero, and now he can't. Now everything that he worked for is not based for nothing because everything he worked for stuck with Tom Holland's version of Peter. But I'm talking about like all the physical things, like with the Stark stuff and all that, like all the investment, everything.
This isn't even like
Just gone.
this isn't like Spider-Man even related, but just like I always loved that theme where like Tony Stark couldn't build like a suit of armor around the world, but he built a suit of armor around his world. Where like he made Pepper a suit, he made
Peter a
Rhodey a suit, he made Peter a suit. Like I always thought he never made Happy a suit, so I guess he didn't care for Happy much. But
He made Hulk a suit.
the Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah, the
He
Hulk.
borrows.
It's to stop the Hulk if he goes on a rampage.
But yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Liam. We're gonna add something.
Oh no, I just said yeah.
So I think the one topic we'll finish on is that we wanted to talk about was like Andrew and Toby's acting in this movie. Nathan, do you have any comments that you want to start off with for that?
Andrew's so good. Andrew's performance was amazing. Andrew's performance was so good that like I just want I want a Spider-Man movie with Andrew now. Like that's not like terrible.
Yeah, yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, just not by the guys that made this movie, not the guys that made the actual Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
Oh man, like the second one, I rewatched it recently. There's so many so many plot threads that were not connected that they were forcing to connect. Like the whole Harry Osborn and the Green Goblin did not need to be in that movie. Like the whole "you're a frog" Spider-Man.
Wait, what?
But
Well, he says you're a fraud, but it sounds like he's saying you're a frog Spider-Man.
But the electric pylons, they sung "Itsy Bitsy Spider."
Oh.
Wait, what? Was it really?
You know when when Spider-Man's getting like thrown into the pylons and he goes like it does it to the tune of "Itsy Bitsy Spider."
And it's all like electric, like it's like electric guitar, like.
Can I say I love this scene in the new movie where Jamie Foxx is like, I was getting all the power and I was gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
I love that.
He was like, I was whooping Spider-Man's ass. I was about to become pure energy.
He's like, and I died.
And yeah, I was about to die.
Yeah. I also really liked, honestly, I also really liked Jamie Foxx's like character as opposed to how it was in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
He
because
like
they let
actually has a personality and stuff, which is nice.
they let Jamie Foxx be Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with Andrew Garfield, they really let him shine through. I thought it was funny. I felt bad for Andrew because it felt like the other two Spider-Men were like bullying him, like like when he's when he like holds them, he's like, "I love you guys," and they're like, "Thanks." Like
Yeah,
it's so bad. Like poor dude.
Yeah.
he's like, I always wanted brothers.
Nathan, I was gonna say, Nathan, did you agree with like how the order they brought out the Spider-Man? I thought that was really good. Like that they brought out Andrew and then Toby.
And also,
Yeah.
I want to mention while we're on it, like I think it was good how like it's apparent that both of the like Andrew and Toby have had like significant character development off the screen. Like
Yeah.
they're both very like grown people as to like based on what they went through in their movies, and it's like very apparent.
It's like
Yeah.
they show the three generations. They have Toby, who's like much older. It sounds like he's married to MJ, and like he's an old man. Like he needs his back cracked, you know. And then you have Andrew, who's like just slightly past where his movies were. And then you have Tom, so he's still kind of like older teen, or like slightly past teen. Like what is it? Like
Right.
Toby's like in his 40s, looking like cool youth pastor. More looking.
Yeah.
Like was it like he's like 35 40 looking. Andrew's like mid 20s to upper 20s, and then you have was it like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, who's still like 17 or whatever. So
I mean, he's a senior in high, or no, he's a first year of college now. Or seven.
but like by the end
Yeah,
of the
senior year, yeah.
Or could
They should make him join a frat.
Tom Holland.
Imagine with the next Spider-Man movie, it just opens up and it's at like
Spider-Man
he's at
frat
a
home.
City party and he's wearing like frat merch and he has like a dangly cross earring.
Okay,
Well,
but
it's gonna be-
there's got to be a better title than Frat Home. Come on, we got to think of one for this. Home crap. No, the home wrecker. Remember like the fake title they had out.
I
I
remember
get-
Spider-Man. Remember Spider-Man homeless
Spider-Man homeless.
when Sony and Disney were fighting.
Oh yeah, that was great. Gosh, I don't know. Like
Spider-Man, need a ride home.
there we go. Spider-Man Ubering home. Oh gosh. There we go. We'll make that. I was gonna say we'll make that the title of the next episode, but we've already.
That's going to the Castles and Company highlight.
With the need a ride home.
No,
No, the one that's going on the highlight reel is the when I saw Aunt May, I had a Peter Tingle. That's the one that's going on the highlight reel.
It's like that's what I found my Peter Tingle.
Don't worry, we'll do a highlight reel for the 50th episode once we are on episode 27.
Can't wait. No way, we're on episode 27.
Yeah, we've skipped a ton of weeks too, bro. But yeah, we'll when we have our 50th episode, we'll do like a little reunion thing. But any other I guess we talked about Andrew. Did we talk about Toby? I thought
Toby.
Yeah, any comments on Toby?
Yeah, I thought Toby did great of like playing, like he did a good job of playing, you know, not trying to play Spider-Man as it like left it, as he left it at the end of Spider-Man 3. I think he did a good job of, I think like you guys were saying, of having like showing that he's older and like has gone through some more stuff since the movies took place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I agree. I just wish like when they're talking about their fights, they would bring up like Andrew and Toby would have brought up something out. Just like nitpicky. I wish they would have brought out stuff that we didn't see on screen. Like, I did this.
Yeah, that would have been
Oh,
cool.
like they could have brought some like other material from the comics. Like they could have brought up how like what's got Andrew like like the Sinister Six was supposed to be Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean,
some stuff.
they brought up the Rhino, but other than that, like
Yeah, he brought up the Rhino, which I know like that was like it was of course this is like to advance the plot or make a funny joke, but like I thought it was funny that he didn't mention like yeah, I fought like another Green Goblin, or I fought like I also fought the Green Goblin, or like
Yeah, he said
oh
I fought a Green Goblin, but he was Harry Osborn, and Toby could have been like, me too. Like
Well, they-
Osborn was my friend, and he turned to the new Goblin or so. I don't know. It's just nitpicky stuff.
Yeah, they didn't mention that they were the goblin and stuff, but they did mention like I think they both did mention that they like had to kill their best friend pretty much.
Oh yeah. Well, Tom Holland was, I mean, not Tom Holland. Andrew killed his girlfriend on accident.
hey, well, he didn't
Yeah.
kill her. He just didn't save her correctly.
The guy who's been bullying him about it for the whole episode.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I play all the sides, so I always come out on top.
he went snap crackle pop, bro.
Gosh dang. All right, what are you gonna add, Nathan?
Another really good example of how intricately they like paid attention to like their character development off screen. And it's like it's not just like the bigger stuff like dialogue, it's like on a small scale, like the way they act. Like I saw like someone pointed this out to me, or like I got it online, but then I realized I was like geeking out to you about this after I saw it. But the scene where Garfield saves MJ and he gets his like redemption, I love that. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. And I know it was pointed out to me that he jumps to save her instead of like trying to save her with his webs, because that's how Gwen died.
Yeah.
Like he, instead of trying to use his webs, he leaps toward her and catches her, and then like he gets his little redemption.
Because he was a few seconds late in that time, you know, like with the web. So in that time, he could have grabbed her and done what he did with MJ, where he has her in his arms so that like his legs can take the impact because he's already down there, you know. Anyway, but yeah, you were gonna say, Mo?
I was gonna say Tom Holland's Spider-Man actually jumped as soon as he noticed it, instead of like, what's it called? I thought like for a second I thought they're gonna have Tom save her and Andrew's gonna be like, my man, good job or something like that.
Damn,
You know, like
Can't relate.
Yeah, dap him up. Let's go, baby.
just for a split second, because I was like, oh, because I thought they were gonna have, like, when I saw that in the trailer, I thought it was gonna be like Andrew or whatever, right? Because I only saw the trailer once. I didn't really pay attention to it because I didn't want too much spoilers. But I thought I was like, oh, is Tom gonna save her? And I was like, oh, of course he gets intercepted by the Green Goblin. Of course.
Imagine Garfield saves his MJ, and then like he just starts macking on her.
Wait, what?
Imagine Garfield.
I missed something here. Repeat that.
Like picture the Amazing Spider-Man if Gwen doesn't die, right? Like they definitely kiss, you know? They definitely kiss passionately. And Andrew never got to live that out. Imagine if after saving MJ, he just starts kissing her.
MJ?
Wait a
Hey,
minute,
that'd be
man.
so
Bruh, she's a minor. She's a minor.
17.
FBI, open up.
Not in real life.
Wait, what's
Spider-Man
what was their
not
like?
going home for a very long time.
What is it? DDoS, open up.
One phone call home.
I'm like, bro, you guys are coming up with such great lines. I love it.
Gosh, I'll equip you with it. I love it.
But this all stemmed from Toby, right?
No, I think it was weird. We didn't really talk about it much, like the scene with him catching MJ.
Oh yeah.
Of course, like we were saying, like Andrew Garfield was definitely a standout with this movie. That was like his standout scene. Like for me, it was like the emotional reaction he had after catching her. Like it wasn't even just that he caught her and like it was good. It was like he understood. It was just as important to him as it was to us that he made that catch.
That he
Oh yeah, and then he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, are you okay?" To him,
It's like, no.
to her, he probably looked crazy. She's like, "Damn, what did this guy go through in his universe?"
And that was one part where I could really appreciate like the writing and not just his performance. Like it was well the scene was well like written.
Yeah, I that moment where like he like feels the weight of that moment of him like succeeding where he failed previously, but then like MJ and him like obviously getting super emotional, and then MJ being like, and him being like, "Are you okay?" But then MJ like being like, "Yeah, are you okay?" Even though it's kind of like a funny moment, I felt like that's an example of where like they did a good job of balancing the drama and comedy and stuff like that.
No, yeah, that was really well written, and that's part of the good fan service that was in the movie.
Yeah. Like they did. There was a lot of fan service, of course, but like I felt like it wasn't too overdone.
Yeah, like I
Except
think
in
we already,
except with the much of a scientist myself. Or whatever.
yeah, I think we already talked about it, but one of my favorite scenes was with Toby and Doc Ock, where he's like, Peter, how like he's like, how are you, dear boy?
Oh,
Like he talks to
Nathan? Did we talk about that before Mo hopped in, or no? Was that when did we mentioned
Talked
it?
about he talked about the doing better.
Yeah, like
oh yeah, he
trying to
talked
do
about the
better.
doing better, yeah. No, but I'm like besides like the doing better being the same thing from the movies, that just like whole interaction was just like so wholesome because you remember how Doc Ock was before the tentacles took control. Like he was like a real like big mentor figure to Toby's Peter Parker.
See, that's what most people who haven't even seen or like haven't seen the original Spider-Man 2 and like I haven't seen it in a while. I had to be reminded of that like I knew before
agree.
going in, but like you have to remember that like a lot of like the times that Doc Ock is used in the comics or in like the video game and what was the new Spider-Man movie called? The Into the Spider-Verse. You know that one?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like the female Doc Ock. Like she's just bad because she's bad, you know? Like he is bad because he's like forced to be, you know?
Yeah.
So there was something else I was gonna add about it was a power.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Yeah, no, I think
With great power comes great responsibility.
no, I was gonna add the part about Andrew talking with Electro once Electro's like powered down. Like we mentioned it before, like how he's like there's got to be a Black Spider-Man out there somewhere. Like how that was great.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
He's like, man, you're just like you help a lot of poor people. I just thought you'd be black. Like that'd be crying.
That was so
It's funny because Andrew apologizes for not being.
Yeah, he's like, sorry.
He's like, you don't need to be sorry. Like,
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite lines in the movie, actually.
Yeah, no, that line was great. Like one of my favorite lines was also like, it's not a big line. It's like when Andrew comes to fight Electro in the beginning of the Statue of Liberty fight. He's like, Max, I missed you, buddy.
Wait, at what point was someone like, hey, your hairline got better? Was it like the lizard saying that?
Oh yeah, because you saw how he looked like before.
So I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, Dr. Connor is like, last time I remember you had bad comb, you had bad teeth and a comb over.
It was all changed by the power.
The Black Spider-Man line was so like artfully done, like on a small I feel like the timing and everything, like the delivery, perfect.
I like that it also heavily implies that like they understand that we want a Miles Morales in the MCU and that they know that and they're gonna deliver it. You know,
like that was the most tasteful, best way to do that. Good stuff.
Yeah, this movie's just overall really good.
Any last comments before we finish it out? I think we got most of the stuff for that, unless we missed something big.
Statue of Liberty fight was awesomely choreographed with Peter and the Goblin.
It was very the power of friendship.
Yeah, real quick, I like that the Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3.
Oh wait, did you guys talk about that? Did you guys talk about how when Toby was like, "That's awesome," when he's like, "I don't mean to brag, but I was in the Avengers."
Oh yeah, that's great. What is that?
What? Yeah, is that a band? Are you in a band?
Which someone I saw like a post on Instagram where someone was like, when what's his name? When Nick Fury's trying to recruit Iron Man into the Avengers, Iron Man's like, no, I don't want to join your top secret band or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Also, there was a callbacks to when Doctor Strange what's it called? When Tony Stark met Doctor Strange and say he makes balloon animals and stuff like that. There's a callback with that as well.
What does he say? Like they don't talk about balloon. Not talking about
like
balloon
party
animals.
tricks. Isn't it? Was it this one or is it a different movie? I'm remembering.
Dude, you're
It's like
embarrassing
party
me in
tricks.
front of the wizard.
Oh,
I can't remember but like they did like I do like how every time that like there's Doctor Strange, like they make like the magician jokes. That's always like a really good like it's an easy target, but they do it well.
yeah, I can't wait for the new Doctor Strange movie. On a side note,
Oh yeah, I guess we could mention. I think we discussed it a little bit at the beginning of our episode here. You missed that part, Mo, but we were talking about how like the trailer at the end of Spider-Man had like the multiverse of madness. Like you're excited to see the movie, right?
yeah, it looks super exciting. Am I wrong for interpreting what I saw? Was it like, is he being punished for what happened with the multiverse with Peter, or because nobody remembers that it never happened? It's for something else, right?
I think, of course, they're not going to show this yet, but I think that the reason the multiverse is like broken is probably because of something Wanda's doing. Like maybe he recruits Wanda and then to like because he wants to like check something out, and then like Wanda messes it up. We'll probably get like a more in-depth trailer describing like what the issue is closer to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, like we just kind of have to like assume what's gonna happen.
Yeah, when is that movie coming out? May 6th. I can't wait for that movie. It's gonna be good.
But I think that's all we have, all the time we have for today. We talked. I think we got we hit most of the points. Overall, everyone agrees. Great movie. Would see again, I guess.
Would see for the 4th time.
Specifically, it's like the part where all the Spider-Man is so good that I would watch that sequence like several times over.
No, I've literally done that where I'll pull up like the bootleg of it,
Yeah,
and
no,
I
me
just
too.
keep rewatching that one part when they like the three of them drop down at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that
that's the hero shot.
Yeah, the hero shots, all different Spider-Man poses from their movies.
Yeah. That's the
The
good
money
stuff.
shot.
Bro, give me a bowl of cereal.
Okay.
And that part, I'm set.
Set for life, bro.
He's eating his Spider-Man brand Oreos. All right, everyone. I think that's all the time we have, as I was saying. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, find us doing something more. I think we're probably back to weekly uploads for the podcast episodes. That is, if I can convince Liam to get out of his busy schedule and hop on with me in
He's
chat.
lying, guys.
What's
No,
up?
He's lying.
There may be an episode next week. We shall hope. That's the goal for the year, to have an episode each week. But as always, you can follow us on Instagram, Castles and Company, Twitter, Castles and Company, capital. I can never say this correctly. Castles, the letter N, capitalized company, and also on our website, castlesandcompany.com, where you can find links to our Patreon page and our Discord server. So until next time, remember this: laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, dreams are forever. Have a magical rest of your day. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, Mo.
Thanks. Are you guys gonna hop on Discord now?